Hello everybody and welcome to another third-party stroke knockoff review. Thanks to the team over at SHOWZSTORE. In today's video we're taking a look at the latest offering from Robot Hero. This is their RH02. Yeah, that's meant to be AIRWOLF, isn't it? But that's come across as kind of AirWaffle. That envisions something completely different. A really nice kind of retro vibe going on with this. Nice throwback to the 80s. That's different. This is based on the open and play version of Springer, only redone with a better face and a much more kind of cartoon accurate paint scheme, age 16 plus, made in China. Before we take a look inside, let's just have a quick word from our sponsor. And it's nearly that time again. Time for the SHOWZSTORE 11/11 Super Sale. Before the event starts, don't forget to upgrade your premium membership, which is now half price. Discount will end before the 11/11 sale. There are various different coupons available for the sale. Only one coupon can be used per customer at a time. And don't forget to check out the flash sale area for extra bargains. Premium members will earn 5 times points when the sale begins and 3 times points for 1 year. Regular memberships only 1 times points, which is 1% off. Paying the balance on pre-existing orders can only be used with points unless you cancel the pre-order and order again using the coupons. And for myself and the rest of the team at the SHOWZSTORE, enjoy the sale. Boom! Very much looking forward to the SHOWZSTORE sale. Fingers crossed for some Fans Toys stuff being reduced. But here we have him. Much nicer paint scheme. And that face sculpt, that is sublime. He still comes with the missile that they load in the movie that fires out Devastator. He comes with his gun. He comes with his sword and the clip to secure the sword on his backpack. Now he's never going to be a contender for the Fans Toys alternative just because this is a really good Springer, but colours are definitely a lot more kind of what I was expecting. It's a good match. I wanted to get this to basically have him in his vehicle mode. I like to have my bots in bot mode, and then I like to have a kind of a season display where some of them are in their vehicle modes. And this is a really nice affordable option to get your Springers, especially considering he's a triple changer. So, but with the X-Transbot version coming out really soon, along with their Ultra Magnus as well, it's really going to be interesting to see how these all fare. I mean, we have these. There's the MMC version. There was the Toy World version. We had the Unique Toys version. Springer's a really popular character, but I still think that to date, I think Fans Toys probably did the best job with that character. But this is definitely a really nice, cheap, viable option. I mean, look at the colours. I mean, that's pretty decent, isn't it? They're nigh on the same. I have used a much bigger Autobot insignia on this Springer as opposed to on Apache, but still, we're not here to look at Fans Toys. We're here to talk about the bootleggers Robot Hero and what they've offered us. Obviously, Robot Hero are known for their oversized Seekers and, of course, their copy of Soundwave. I think he was aptly named Pony. Now, mine's not without its flaws. There needs to be a small piece just shaved off this clip here because with the paint, it's slightly too fat to go into the tab. But that is definitely not the be-all and end-all. There's a few sprue marks here and there. There we go. There's one on that clip piece. I'll probably see more as I go around. But it's a nice solid piece, especially for the money. Face sculpt alone is vastly superior. It actually looks like Springer as opposed to what we initially got. Looks happier, doesn't he? It's kind of a more youthful, less kind of war-torn version of Springer. This kind of Reminds me of an Orion Pax style spring, kind of that age, and then he eventually becomes this guy when he's like serving with Hot Rod, Rodimus or Optimus, etc. But this is how he starts off, kind of fresh-faced and raring to go. Now, if this is your first time looking at, say, the Open and Play or the Robot Hero version, articulation is as follows. Head can look up, down. It's actually on a pivot, as well as a joint at the head. We can go left and right. We can tilt quizzically from side to side. If we just unhand this gun, we can move the shoulders out to the side, up and down there on a lovely ratchet. There is a swivel here at the bicep. There's a double bend on the elbow, rotation on the wrist, and articulated fingers. There is a waist rotation. There's no abdominal crunch. This does peg in a lot tighter on this guy than it did on my Open and Play version, but it's still, with a little bit of nudging, etc., it does come away from that waist panel. We have hip skirts here which travel with the legs. They go forwards, back, out to the side. Pet gripe, that's kind of the most natural stance you can get. It's that or that. I actually prefer either a lot more teeth on the ratchets or just straight up ball joints on those thighs, just to keep them kind of more natural. But I have a thigh rotation at the knee. There's no real movement in the actual thigh itself because these are pegged as a joint. Knee can come down that far, and we've got rotation and pivot on the feet and some up and down motion as well. Now, transformation, you want to disarm him. Out you come. There we go. Come around to the backpack, remove the peg and the sword, and starting off with these hands. These tabs, untab, like so, and the fist will only go one way. This way it will fit, this way it won't. So this way up, and there we go. That's going to close down and seal off. These arm panels straighten up. Oh, my chest has just come untabbed. I'll keep that tabbed in for now. This is going to come out. It pivots on this hinge here, allowing it to go round, push, and collapse up over the shoulders like this. These arms can actually now just kind of rock backwards on that double hinge and tab in, just to get them out of the way. We're going to untab the back panel. Come on, out you come. Very tight. There we go. That's untabbed. These are going to untab as well. Oh, well, we know this side's out. It's just this side. Again, my paint is very thick on here, so it does tend to get a little bit stuck. This is going to rock upwards like so. These are going to flip and come all the way around. This opens up. This opens up. This head squarely goes away. And once this is at this kind of right angle, it then can't go beyond this point. That's as straight as it will go. These will flip round and push and tab in. Flip that around. This comes in. This will tab in like so. These blanket pieces here come down, push and tab. Come to the underside. The head is going to come up, and on this hinge, rock that backwards so it sits in there like so, and then this section can drop down. These arms are then going to slide on these sliders all the way to the front of the vehicle, and then looking at this arm, he's going to rock back, and this needs to drop. So you see this hinge here, make sure that is compressed, and these should then just tab in like like so, at the front of this cab section here. Coming to the top, I've got this panel here underneath. This is going to extract. These should split, he says. Come on. Don't want to. Translucent plastic, so I'm always a bit dubious. Just go steady. Steady as she goes, Ben, steady as she goes. There we go. Yeah, fabulous. This thing comes up and should, he says, go between the void. Haha. Cooking on gas. Do you still say that? There we go. That's on. This thing comes down, plugs in there, and this is going to square up, push, and plugs in, securing this front window panel. Coming down to the legs, these flaps fold up, over, up, and over. The feet, toes collapse in, and these then compress together. Toes collapse in, and these compress together like so. Now from this point, we can bring this piece out. This is going to tuck in, and this will hinge around. But first, we need to just untab this hinge here, like so. This comes up, and this is going to rotate. Come on, how do we do this? There we go, around like so. Like this. You want to do that with both legs, so make sure that this piece comes away. Bend at that thigh panel, so this piece can come down. This is then going to rotate all the way up, like so. There is a small tab just on the underside here. Push that through, revealing the thruster. And then the idea is pushing these in together. Once this is square, these should come up and arch back on themselves, like so. And these, in theory, should come in. And should come in. Tab into one another. Lift this flap up, fold that out, and now these should, he says, push, tab in to the side, and then this here should come down and just clean off the area on the side of that pod. There's then a tab just on these arms that'll push and locate, tab in really firmly on the side of these legs. These sections unfold, revealing the wheels. There we go. This is going to come down. This rotates. This comes around, and this needs to face inwards, I believe. Again, on this side, this comes around. This is going to rotate, and that's going to face inwards, and that faces inwards, and those are going to push and secure together. And finally, make sure that this is slid over enough so there's only a small kind of piece protruding, and then this is going to collapse. This will come around, and if you look here, there's this tab here that's going to push, and that's going to lock in there nicely. These are then going to come up. This thing comes up at an angle, and I think everything is kind of tabbed in now. Just make sure it's all in there nice and firmly. It just looks a little bit stumpy, doesn't it? That's the downside to this, I think. But still, that is a viable Cybertronian vehicle mode, if ever I've seen one, with headlamps and all. Nice. Now to go from the car to helicopter is not, thankfully, rocket science. We want to unplug these, extend them out, and you can see that the tail fin extends with it. So extend, extend, bring those out. It's going to come together, and these are going to push and tab in, and tab in, like so. The arms are going to come untabbed from the side. You want to move them down because this bit here is going to come untabbed, and that's going to, let's move these back now, shall we? Rotate around, and it's going to come back in and push back into there we go, that's in. See what I did with this side here? I moved these arms down, so once they're untabbed you can actually slide those down on this hinge. You need them down near the bottom. So again, on this side, make sure the arms out of the way so we can untab this and rotate this around. So then it will come back in and tab back in to that location. The arms, these are gonna flip up and around on this double hinge. So that this piece is going to tab in. Whew, that was a bit more difficult than unexpected. Like so. The arms are going to come around. Move that out of the way. This section here, now that we've got clearance, we want to flip that out. Starting to kind of look a little bit more like a helicopter, isn't it? Just flip these panels out. You've got the yellow tabs that come out. This can then be pegged back in, and then everything's going to kind of tab in together now. You want to come around to this panel. That bit that we managed to get in there. There we go. That's just easier for me to do like that. That needs to come down, and once it's beyond this point here, then these can come back in. That's then going to come back in on itself. Please don't snap. Look at that. It's a very delicate hinge on there. Be mindful of that. And then that's going to come back in. 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 There we go. There we go. That's in there nicely. And then we bring this in, and much like the Generations Springer did, there we have him. There's AIRWOLF in all of his glory. I like it. It's a good fun toy. Like I said, I'm looking forward to getting kind of one of each mode for Springer. At least with this, you can still use those wheels, so he does roll quite nicely. I think I've got that right, haven't I? I will include a link to the open and play video up here somewhere at the end of the video, so you can see the differences. I don't have the open and play version anymore because I thought, oh, you know, I don't need all these Springers. And then suddenly we were bombarded by all of these really kind of nice, cool offerings, and that's when things changed. But it's a good, solid piece. You can attach your weapons. You know me, I do not like having weapons attached in any of the kind of alt modes. It's just not my kind of cup of tea. Not a fan of that, but I am a fan, however, of how darn affordable this was, and it is great bang for buck. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy lives to watch my content. I hope you didn't mind the odd skit that I threw in there today. From myself and the rest of the Collectables household, thank you all very, very much for watching. Goodbye.